Hey there, guys. So those of you who don't understand what like whitewalling or blacklisting someone digitally is, this is pretty much it. Like, as you can see, for some reason it says my follower list is private. It says my follower list is private. That is private. But like my about section is supposed to be public. My posts are supposed to be public. Most of my posts are public, and I changed it to where people can see them. But unfortunately, as you can see, there is an orchestrated attempt to keep my profile from obtaining or achieving any kind of public notoriety. And for a YouTube creator, that's kind of difficult. That's kind of difficult. Like, I could see I can get to see my YouTube profile. But however, for some reason, and I do not know why, these links will show up when I'm logged in, but I can't click on them. I can't click on them if I'm not the sole accountant, which is weird because these are supposed to show up as links. That's what they're supposed to show up as. So that's kind of weird, that I actually have all these things listed, but yet no one can access them unless they go to like my actual videos, right? But not to mention, I'm also getting whitewalled from the jobs in the local town I'm in. So I know that this is a localized effort, a localized orchestrated effort to try to actually pretty much keep me from socializing or in any regard being sociable with anyone in the town. And this is further evidenced by the fact that like I said, if I go to my actual page, this page isn't even available right now, but if I were to log into it using, say, my actual account information, and I will do that, I will literally clip these two pieces together, because I'm not going to show you guys my password data. However, I'll log into my actual profile and show you what it looks like for me versus a stranger. Keep in mind, this is a public profile. For the most part, everything of mine is public except for my followers and a few of my photos. But for some reason, it will not load the page. That is a digital effort to strike me out of the social circles in the local community, which I had pretty much been kind of just chill with for a while. But this is an orchestrated effort because summer's over and now they want to, try to badger me because I'm stuck inside all winter. Well, that is only going to cause me to use the entire winter to gather every little detail about every problem in this town that has not been remedied, has not been solved, and has made futile efforts to change, including the meth problem that's running rampant in this town. Like, it's bad. It's running so rampant in this town. Like, if you don't want your family to get hooked on drugs, do not come to this town. Like, it's that bad. It's like everyone. I mean, if I were to search it, let's just run a real quick search, okay? Meth problem in Alpena. And watch this. Watch this. This is insane, okay? Now, let's look at the amount of results. 213,000 results. Check that shit out. Check that shit out. I don't believe in using hard drugs. I will drink from time to time like an alcoholic beverage with dinner, so to speak, maybe a nightcap. I don't do it often. Mostly it's just when I'm having trouble sleeping. But usually I get to bed around 3 a.m. just fine. But yeah, check this out. 1, 2, just like, oh my goodness. And these are all, notice how it says all in Alpena. All of these are, like, all this is in Alpena. City of Alpena, right there. Like, this is a bad problem that's really escalating and getting worse and worse in this town. Boom. Like, this is just one problem that I can show you people of one reason you just should stay the fuck away from Alpena. Now, I can keep going, and this town can suffer the consequences of me finding every little problem with the corruption in terms of police, the corruption in terms of the government, the local city administrations, the way that they manage digital social media, and in terms of trying to isolate people and picking and choosing who's going to be homeless in this town is a big thing. They like to pick and choose by trying to blacklist them from work, try to do everything in their effort or power to try to create financial disarray for certain certain people that they don't want to, either they want to go homeless or they want to see them struggle. Like, there's literal fucking factions within this town that do this. And some of them are actually running the government itself. It's pretty fucked up. It's pretty heinous. They've been trying to do it to me for over 9 years, have not given up. They keep thinking, oh, well, we're going to knock him while he's down. I posted in a job group recently. I was looking for something for someone who had a high school experience and no criminal record. Keep in mind, I have no criminal record. However, a lot of the people that I've actually put on blast have a huge criminal record and or shouldn't even be in the jobs they're currently in. But hey, I digress. Those people came at me first and I went back after them. Oh, maybe I could have been the bigger man and walked away, but when a pedophile decides to call you a pedophile, it's time to go to war. So, yeah, when you're going to make blind statements at someone and you're just going to try to fucking fuck with them that way, I'm going to look you up. I'm going to find out everything there is to know about you, and I'm going to have my defense up and ready. Don't fucking try me. Okay, that's the way I work. I operate on a fuck around and find out basis, all right? Which is pretty popular right now. And, yeah. It makes sense because, yeah, if you fuck around with me, you're going to find out. And if you fuck around with hostile intent or negative intent, I'm going to give it back to you 100-fold. But if you're positive, if you're decent with me and you're not fucking being an absolute shady, fucking keeping it in the shadows buffoon, I don't approach you in an aggressive, hostile manner at all. But here, this is just one video. Just one thing I could find. One thing. One thing. Keep in mind, this town that I live in, this town, the city of Alpena, is home to a lot more problems too. Even darker problems, problems that would get you killed in jail, problems that would get you absolutely slaughtered in most prisons throughout the fucking world. Okay? And they have those problems in spades. And had they never attacked me, I would have never found this shit out. Now, as for Mrs. Swain's comments, this is Miss Swain right here. Look at these dates. This was back in April 13th. I was asking why I was banned from the Alpena group. Now, keep in mind, her husband also co-runs the group. So they're running it as a family, I guess. It's a family affair. They have two people who are married. Keep in mind, they're married, running the same group. I don't find it odd that she could see my post at all. She's married to the guy that's also able to see my post. She's married to another admin. Like, they're living in the same house, okay? Like, she's married, okay? Now, this guy has also said he doesn't like me. He stated this much in a bar. Now, this is a bar that I went to for some pool, because they have free pool nights. I believe it is on Tuesdays and another night. I always forget the second night, but yeah. I went to free pool, and I saw him sitting on the table, and I was walking past him. He's like, "Don't walk past me." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I don't like you." I'm like, "Okay." He's wearing a trench coat or some shit like that. But yeah, she's married to that guy. So they both have a personal grievance with me. For what? I have no fucking clue. Now, when she did kick me from the Alpena photography group, it was because, well, she didn't really give me a reason. I did, however, ask, and she's like, take it up with the administrator there. I asked Bob Reed, why did you delete me? And this was his response. I don't know who you are, just having reviewed the names of those who have been banned from the group, your name isn't there. I'm like, I can't even search the group. I can't even search the group, like it won't show, which only happens if you are blocked as an admin. Can you send me an invite? And I got no reply. I said, that's what I got. And she was at the time an admin of this group. And then she remitted herself as soon as she blocked me, which is weird. She'll go into a group, become an admin. If I try to join that group or I make a post in that group, either she'll... Now, the last group, she's not even in the photography group anymore. She had to leave. She knew it was she knew she was caught when I sent her this. All I can say is I did not run the group. I'm like, but there are striking similarities between you and both of the admins. But the truth is, she had already blocked me from 2 buy, sell, and trade sites before this, so I knew it was her. And this group that she currently decided to make a rebuttal for, she also blocked me from. So this is 4 groups she's done this to in the past, 7 years. Like, bitch, you can't let shit go. You can't let shit go. It's fucking... This was in April 13th. This is not even current. We're currently in November 29th right now. I'm making this video at 2 a.m. And this is just one of many attempts that I've had to deal with in terms of Alpina isolating people. Well, people who might have a problem with, I don't know, being accused of stealing their own bikes. Yeah, I was accused of stealing my own bikes in this town. I had a bike that I had bought off of a person because they were getting rid of it. They had just gotten a car. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I could use a bike. They're like, I'll sell it to you for like 25, 30 bucks. I'm like, okay, I bought it. And I was riding around, parked it. And the guy that pulls up next to me, he pulls up in his bike. He's like, should I lock it up? I'm like, yeah, I would. That's what you do when you have something you don't want to get, like, stolen or something. And he's like, all right. I'm like, I locked my bike up. And he looks at it. He's like, oh, that's yours, huh? I'm like, yeah. And then he proceeds to pick his bike up and park it around back, telling me, I think I'll park it around back. I'm like, okay. At this time, I wasn't wearing, like, the whites and shit. I was wearing, like, the gothed out attire. But I digress. Apparently now that's the in thing, so everyone's doing it in town. And because I'm wearing the whites, no one's doing it in town. That was not the only instance. Another instance would later happen where I would call for a Jimmy John's sub, and I was laughed, and they hung up. They do deliveries, keep in mind. They do deliveries around town, and we had called about 30 minutes before closing. Well, they kept me on hold for like 5 minutes, and then decided to laugh at me, and then hang up. I made a post about it. Alpina didn't like it, so they decided to come after me. Okay, fine. This was the beginning of all the turmoil, okay? This was over 9 years ago. Now, I was more than willing to drop this shit, but since they're continuing to pull the bullshit 9 years later, we're gonna have this. This is gonna be talked about now. Let's keep in mind that they sent a pedophile to me to try to accuse me of sexual misconduct with minors, which actually didn't ever happen. Well, it wasn't really sexual misconduct. He accused me of taking photographs of his child when I didn't even know who this guy was. I didn't even know where he lived or even if he was in town. I thought maybe he was just joking. And then he proceeded to make a whole post about it and share it on 9 different Alpina social network sites. I would later find out that this guy, by the name of Russell First, was part of a group, also many of which were in. It's actually, you know, I don't even need to do that. Check this out. I've still got it. So, this guy by the name of Russell First had decided to post several images, or even making comments in buy, sell, and trade sites, saying that this and this and this, right? Because apparently someone was rocking a drone, and that actually looks like a pretty expensive drone. Don't know who would have that kind of money in this town except for the cops, but I digress. But yeah, he, like, this shit right here was posted under there, making, in every group he could, every local group he could, because he lost to me in a political debate online. Quite literally. And I have all the evidence of this, and I've stated it. Now, when I looked at all of the people that were in the group making the commentary, all the people that were in the group, and I actually took a good look at who all made the comments there. All right? I took a look at all that, and started looking for the guy, because I was pissed. I was fucking pissed. Absolutely fucking pissed. And now they tried to beg me not to sue them after this, which is not something you do if you're in the right. Yeah, see? Aaron Hazinski. Boom, right there. He was telling the exact truth. And this guy, they were trying to make up stories about why I lost my kid, all this shit. All this shit. Okay? And I had everyone in this comment. Now, I found out that there were 9 people in this comment section that were on a convicted sex offender registry. So it's no wonder why he chose what he chose. Obviously, he would go to the thing he was most affiliated with the experience of. So, like, it's why he chose what he chose. Now, I keep all this. I keep all this. I keep it all. Why? Because I'm going to need it one day when I have to show that this town has been trying to isolate me. Because, unfortunately, the FBI can get involved in small-town conspiracies. Let's go ahead. Take a look at that real quick. But as you can see, guys, I'm not fucking around right now, okay? Corruption in small Texas town, boom. Investigation dismantles a family-run criminal operation. This has happened before, and there's a criminal operation going on here, too. Something you probably don't realize is Russell First was married to Melody Helinsky or something. Huge family in the town. In fact, if you type in the last name Helinsky into Google, just the last name, you will find that many of them reside in the Alpena area. I have her blocked on Facebook, so it shouldn't show up. Damn it. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, I've made videos about what it's like to live here and all the shit that I've dealt with. Because I've had to go to war with these people for the last 10 years. And then I tried to let it go. I tried to say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to focus on my music. I'm just going to do me. And I'm going to, you know, do what I need to do to, like, just make peace with all this, right? And I did for a long time. I was doing really well. And then this shit happens where they block me from the job site, hoping that they can in some way hinder my ability to seek work in a town that claims they are looking for employees at all times. Why would you limit who can work in your town if you are that desperate for workers? Let's just go into it. Let's just go into it because they are keen for firing people and using the fuck out of them. Using the fuck out of them with little to minimal pay. The only jobs you can get in this town that'll pay you above $11 to $12 an hour are unfortunately corporate fucking, like, corporate. You can't get local jobs. You just can't. And that is the majority of the jobs here. Only unlocal jobs are franchises, like food, fast food. You've got Pizza Hut out here, McDonald's. But as far as local family-owned businesses, it is who you know, and they will not hire you for a decent pay. They still think that they hold the precedence in this economy to treat their workers like shit, which is why they can't find workers. So workers, like employment out here, I'm not going to say it's not available. It's definitely available. As to whether or not you're going to be feeling as though you're worthwhile as an employee,